Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. In this part of the series, I've got this up on ramps just for my convenience for filming. You don't actually have to do this, but we're fixing to grease the front wheel bearing sleeves. They're not really bearings like ball bearings, they're actual like bronze or brass sleeves inside of there, and they require greasing if you want this thing to last a long time. Alright guys, we're going to grease this right front wheel first. And you're going to need a grease gun for this job, obviously, and I find it's better to have some gloves. So what we're going to do is take our grease gun here, and I just had to buy some more grease. Hopefully I can get this guy on here easily. That's always the hardest part, is getting the thing far enough on there. What I'm wanting to see is it to squirt out around here, around the top of this bushing here. So I'm going to wipe this off. Yeah, usually I find greasing grease zerks, the hardest thing is getting the tip of the grease gun to actually engage the zerk itself. So good idea to wipe those down first before you attempt this. That way you can see what you're doing. So I'm going to give them a couple of more squirts here. Okay. Yeah, you got to push it on really hard, at least with this type that I have. Okay, that was better. Okay, I can see it squishing out on the outside out there, so that's a good sign. We definitely got plenty in there. So now I'm going to get set up. We'll do the other side right quick, and then when we come back, I'll show you guys how to do these back ones. All right, now we're going to grease the spindles. See if I can set you right here. Perfect. Hopefully you'll be able to see this one a little better. Basically the idea is you want to pump it until you see grease coming out of both sides there, both top and bottom, and the same with the wheels. You want to pump it until you see grease coming out of both sides, inside and out. Then wipe off any excess that you might have accumulated, that will accumulate there. And the way you can tell is it kind of slips on, and as you're pushing in and squeezing, if you see grease squirting out around the tip, that means you're not sealed up. Gonna make the sacrifice here so you guys can see a little better. Hopefully you shove that on and try to get my hand back out of the way as far as I can, and you hopefully can see it pumping out of the top there. So we're full. It's as much as we can go on that one. And it's a good idea to wipe this grease off, this extra grease, because it'll just collect dirt and dust and stuff there. So just get it out of the way. Okay, do the same thing on the other side. One other thing you might lubricate with just some spray lube is this this forward and reverse pedal. And unfortunately, I don't see a zerk anywhere on it, so you just have to squirt some lube in the area there where hopefully it'll get on that. It's feeling better already. So I'm going to continue to do that a couple more times till I think I've got her good and coated. And one other thing that kind of sucks about this lawnmower is they didn't bother to put any grease zerks in any of these deck bearings, the spindle bearings. So when those go out one day, I'm going to do a mod that I've done before on other mowers where you actually install grease zerks. You have to take the bearings out and remove the inner seal. But when we get to that point, I'll do a video on it if I have time. Just get that nicely lubricated there. And not a bad idea when you've got spray lube out to find any other points that are, linkage movement points, and go ahead and hit those with a little bit of lubricant, like this deck right here. It pivots on those pins, so you can go ahead and hit those. That'll keep your lawnmower working a long time. Now, I don't want to leave a bunch of oil on top of the deck like that, so when I'm done with this job, I'm going to go ahead and take it over and rinse it all off. But anyway, stay tuned. We'll go topside and lubricate the steering gears. All right, the last thing we want to do is grease this steering gear in here, and I'm going to get in there. I can't do it while I'm filming. I'm going to get in there with a red rag, an old one that I'm ready to throw away, or you could take paper towels and wipe that old grease up out of there. I don't see any grease zerks anywhere else. I searched all over, and I think we've covered them all. So we're going to wipe that down and then put a fresh layer of just regular axle grease, or you can use the grease gun to get that done. But I'm going to go ahead and get my axle grease out, and we're going to coat that entire gear down and just inspect everything. And those other two tie rod ends, I guess those upper tie rod ends, all you can really do is hit those with a little spray lube. So that's what we're going to do there. But anyways, when we come back, I'll show you what that looks like. All right, and there we have it, guys. I got a fresh amount of grease on there. I just put regular axle grease on. I wiped the old stuff off first, but as you can see, she's totally covered in grease, and that's going to help. And one thing you want to do is, after you run this back and forth a few times and wipe it on the teeth, is go in there and wipe off any excess, like that blob there on the back side of the shaft. Wipe that off, or wipe it into the gears or whatever, so that it's not just sitting there collecting dirt and whatever. But if you keep that greased up and clean, this thing ought to last you a whole really long time. So guys, appreciate you tuning in. Hope this video was informative for you. Hit the thumbs up if you don't mind on your way out, and until then, we'll see you next time.